All right, hello everyone. Gary Ryan here with you with a Tuesday video. It is stars and standings, and I just gotta tilt that just a little bit so we can see the top. All right. So yeah, we're gonna have two videos today. I am off work today, so yeah, rare video on a Tuesday, and the second video will be later on today, and it's one that I hope that you all tune into. Addressing some things that need to be talked about. Yeah, Tuesday tidbits. So we're going to cover a little bit of everything there. But for now, we have stars and standings, and we also have power rankings. We're combining that into one video this week, like I did last week. And then next week, everything's going to be back to normal as far as our usual schedule, as far as what's on Spotify when and what's on YouTube when. All right, so looking at our standings, the Continental Division, yep, we've got a tie up top once again. Now, I did expand the categories because if you go to the Fed website and you look at things, they list specifically that things are decided in this order. Points, which is a tie right now between the River Dragons and the Thunderbirds. And then the second tiebreaker is regulation wins. Columbus holds the edge in that. So technically, right now, if the playoffs were going to be starting tomorrow, the River Dragons would be the number 1 seed. Carolina would be number 2. And then you have winning percentage as the third tiebreaker if the first two are tied up. I don't think we'll be getting to that point. But anyway, it's good that there's a system in place. All right, so yeah, Carolina and Columbus both with 47 points. Columbus with that edge in the regular season wins 15-13. All right, hanging around in the middle of the pack is the Seawolves and the Prowlers. Both of them trying to make some headway. The Prowlers, boy, they've got a tough road to hoe. 7 games in 9 nights. It covers 1,500 miles. Of course, they had their 3 games this last weekend against the Motor City Rockers. All right, so there's 3 games in 3 days. They had off yesterday. Tonight they play in Mississippi, tonight and tomorrow. And then they have 1 day to travel over to Winston-Salem to take on the Thunderbirds. Again, another thing that just slipped through the cracks when the schedule was being made. And the Prowlers, this is going to be a very, very tough road to hoe. It's not impossible. It's not insurmountable. So we'll see how they fare. If they end up stealing 1 or 2 games over the next weekend, I think you can call this 9-day period a success. And then things calm down for the Prowlers and they can kind of get on with the rest of the year. All right, but yeah, it's going to be very tough for Port Huron to make some ground. However, playing against Mississippi, we'll see. All right, on the outside looking in, again, it's Baton Rouge and the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Now, Baton Rouge, just as I've watched them, and I've been paying pretty close attention to them, yeah, they got off to a really rough start. But they have been playing pretty well as of late. And so I think they've turned a corner. They've got a long way to go. They've got a lot of ground to cover. Is it too late? Hard to say. I mean, there's 30-plus games left this year, and it's a 56-game season. But yeah, it's an uphill climb, but I think they can potentially do it. Don't rule Baton Rouge out. And I'm not ruling out Blue Ridge either, but I think they have more ground to cover with the 2 teams. Blue Ridge just seems to have struggles so far still with continuity within the team. Just some real chemistry going. I don't think that has yet happened. So I think if one of the two teams made the playoffs, I think Baton Rouge's shot is a little bit better right now. But again, there's still a long way to go. There's more than half the season to go. So, again, you can't count anybody out. Obviously, as we've seen over the last few weeks, any team can beat any other team on any given night. So that's the beautiful thing about the Fed this year. We don't have the Delaware Thunder, rest in peace. We don't have the Mammoth last year. Those two teams struggled terribly last year. And we don't have that. We have a lot more parity this year. All right. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Going to the Empire Division, we have the Black Bears still with a firm grasp on first place, but this last weekend they lost a couple of games in extra time, so that they're not inhuman. They're not superpowers or anything like that. So Black Bears still have a firm edge over the Rockers, but the Rockers were able to make up 2 points this last weekend. And they gained 2 points on Binghamton in the standings. And, of course, the two teams play this next Saturday. Unfortunately, sans Trevor Babin, who's out suspended. But anyway, Danbury, I want to talk about them for a second because they got off to a very rough start. And everyone was like, these guys are defending champions. Well, if you've watched them over the last 3 weeks, they found their groove. Yeah, they had a tough loss against Watertown on Friday, but overall, they have improved a lot. They got some good people on their defensive end again, which was their strength last year. Don't sleep on Danbury. They could make some noise. So, and I think it's going to be a fight between Danbury and Motor City, for that middle position there. All right, Watertown. They're up, they're down. They're holding on to that fourth spot though. Elmira though had a very good game on Sunday, a very big statement win. So Elmira, right now they're still looking to make up ground, but they've got things moving in the right direction, I think. So there really isn't a weak team in the league this year, which is nice. All right, so going to our stars of the week. First one, Declan Conway. Yeah, the 4 goals were all in one game, but he provided that offense that the Rockers need with the absence of Scotty Koash. So Conway, 4 goals and assist. He's on the list, as is Gus Ford, who is now 3rd in points. Excuse me, is he 3rd or 2nd? Anyway, he's climbing back up, and once again proving that he is a force to be reckoned with. So 3 goals, 5 assists on the weekend. Ford and Lariakos in the points, not as far apart as they were. Ford is closing the gap. Number 3, David Gaeta for Elmira. Port Huron, they just couldn't find a spot for him on their roster, and I'm thinking that they're going to end up regretting letting Gaeta go. Obviously, he's been a huge spark plug for Elmira ever since he arrived. And Stephen Klink, Klink is playing, but he's not 100%. Once Klink and Gaeta get going, Elmira could make some noise. Those two, pretty special. So 4 goals and 2 assists for Gaeta on the weekend for Elmira. Alexander Jemayev, guess what? He's number 3 in the league in goals now with his 5-goal weekend. We all knew Jemayev was a very good player, but I think he's exceeding everyone's expectations. Everybody just assumed, oh, J-Mac, he's going to be the top scorer for the River Dragons. Maybe not. Maybe not. Number 5, always have a goalie on here, William Lavalier. He only played the one game, but saving 46 out of 48 against the Mississippi Seawolves, who just love to pepper you with shots. That's a phenomenal performance. So yeah, 958 save percentage. Great weekend for Lavalier. He has been a huge find for the Zydeco and part of the reason why the team is resurgent and seemingly turning a corner. So, yeah, good on Lavalier. And then I had to have an honorable mention this week, which I have down the bottom in black. Mitch Jones. He gets signed kind of last minute by the Prowlers. The Prowlers are a little short-handed. So I said, okay, well, let's throw in Mitch Jones. And all he did was 3 goals and 3 assists in 3 games. So, yeah, surprise, surprise. Welcome to the Fed, Mitch Jones. And, yeah, a good performance. And we'll see how he does in the future. All right, I'm going to flip the board here, and we're going to go to our power rankings quickly. All right, so here we are with the low-tech power rankings. Middle's a little hard to see. I apologize for that. I used the wrong color. All right, so going down our list, as we always do, 11-1. Well, there's not a lot of change this week. The only changes are the bottom 2 teams, really. Blue Ridge, now they were idle last week. But like I had mentioned just a little bit ago, I think they're still struggling to find chemistry and continuity. So I put him in 11. I think Baton Rouge has played a little bit better when it comes to the 2 teams, comparing the 2 teams. Baton Rouge seems to be on the climb, so I put them at 10, up a little bit. Number 9, Elmira. They went through some struggles, but they had a big statement win on Sunday. And it seems like they found some offensive weapons. It's always nice when you have the leading goal scorer in FPHL history playing for you. So adding Jurich was a nice little touch. Number 8, Port Huron. Yeah, again, this is the roughest part of their schedule. I think that's the roughest part of anybody's schedule this entire year. But anyway, yeah, if they're going to make up ground, this is the time to do it. So we'll see. Still a lot of struggles on offense. They just need to get things going more on offense. Number 7, Watertown Wolves. This is a team that seems to take a step forward and then a step back. And they're not really gaining traction. I think there's a need for a lot more consistency and a consistent play. And now, they're out. They're without Leeson for one more game. They're without Sergeyev for a couple games. That's going to be tough. But we'll see. We'll see how they do. Number 6, Mississippi. I know I hammer on it every week, but I can't get over the fact that they need to be more defensively responsible. It's great to have a wide open game. It's very entertaining to watch, but ultimately your goal has to be to win. And they need more defense to do it. So, I don't know. Anyway, the next 2 teams I have in a different color because I think they're a little bit of a tier up above the other 4. Hello. Okay, so let's just do this. Danbury, number 5, again, they have improved greatly. Motor City hanging on that number 4 spot. They got the 2 wins this weekend, 7 points actually. So they're hanging on. Let's see how they do without Babin this next weekend. Number 3, and these last 3 are kind of interchangeable, but at this point, I have Columbus at number 3, mainly because I see some inconsistencies developing with their defense. Obviously, they're very offensively talented, but there's a couple things that concern me a little bit on defense. Carolina, number 2, big test. How do they perform without Cavalier and net? We will see. And then number 1, Binghamton, even though they only got 5 of 9 points this last weekend, I think overall they have the best team unit. So there you go. There's our power rankings. There is stars and standings. And don't forget to tune in to the other video, Tuesday Tisbits, as I'm calling it, a little bit later on. See you in a bit.